Hi everybody, this is Jeremy Siskind here. I'm the author of Playing Solo Jazz Piano and Jazz Piano Fundamentals. And today I'm debuting a new camera mode, so get excited. So I was just out in Alabama judging the Rubato International Piano Competition. There's both jazz and classical. And I heard some really fantastic young pianists. But one of the things that I was surprised about was that pedal was a big problem. And it got me thinking that I've never really done anything with pedal on this channel. So to me, the key with pedal, more than anything, is awareness. If we're forgetting about the pedal, if we're going on autopilot, then we might have some pretty bad pedaling tendencies, some bad habits. So what I want to do today is show you some ways that you can practice having a little bit more awareness of your pedal. And just to be clear before I go there, these exercises, I'm not telling you to pedal this way. What I want you to do is practice these ways so that you become aware of the pedal and you're using it intentionally and not just doing it out of habit. So here, introducing Pedal Cam. I can't claim that I always wear shoes when I'm doing YouTube videos, but I did not want you to look at my disgusting feet any more than you had to. Okay, so we're only dealing with the sustained pedals today. We're not going to deal with the other two. That's a whole separate issue. Now, the biggest issue pianists have with their pedal is that they don't change it enough, okay? When you watch great pianists, they are really active. Another problem that pianists have with the pedal is that they always pedal all the way down. And the real great pianists did not pedal all the way down. Okay, so those are two things to watch out for in your own playing. But let's start with the exercise. I'll play a ballad for you because that's usually where we're using the most pedal. And the first exercise, and if you only take one thing away from this video, and you certainly, I see my stats, you might be closing out of this video after 5 minutes. The one thing that I would do is I would practice with no pedal and see how connected you can make your playing if you don't use any pedal. And the reason for this is that we lose a lot of texture, a lot of detail, a lot of options for articulation the more we hold the pedal down. So if we want to get used to doing as much as we can with the fingers, even though it seems like a cruel and unnecessary exercise. We want to do as much as we can with the fingers and then add the pedal. And if you have a gig where nobody's listening, this is a great thing to do on a gig. So I'm not going to use any pedal. You can watch my foot if you don't believe me. I'll play Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered. So it doesn't sound as good as it would if I were using pedal. I would completely agree with that. But I could get by in a gig if I forgot my pedal. If I was playing a keyboard gig and I forgot my pedal, life would be okay. Same thing at medium tempos. This would be easy, excuse me, at a medium tempo. Don't use very much pedal at all at a medium tempo. So first trick, take that pedal off. And especially at that medium tempo, then you can try to add just what you need, what you think is really going to make things sound better. Back to the ballad version. So after you practice it with no pedal, then I would suggest trying some different rhythmic denominations with your pedal. And even so now, again, you're not making a musical decision, we're training awareness. So first one I might do is half notes, okay? And this isn't gonna sound good. It's gonna be too much pedal between a hole. So every beat 1 and beat 3, I'm changing the pedal. I couldn't take it there. And when you do that, listen and hear where are their conflicts. And then if you like to have a good time, if you're a party person like me, you can also try pedaling on beats 2 and 4. Really strange. You know, we rarely pedal against the chord change, but we could try it. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sounds like garbage, right? Okay, but I'm becoming more aware and I'm listening for what's not working. Listening is the key. Next, pedaling every quarter note. This is probably the closest to how I might actually pedal. Just, you can see it's a pretty shallow pedal every single beat. 2, 3, 4. It's really trippy watching your own foot pedal. Okay, so that's every quarter. And then I like taking it to the extreme and practicing every eighth. So now you're getting your foot used to being really, really active, which is fantastic. Okay, here we go. Haven't done this in a long time. I should really practice before these YouTube videos, but I'm too lazy. So here we go. You're getting the real experience of me trying this for the first time in years. Listening and I'm noticing the shallower I go, the better it sounds. Okay, I've got one more variation for you on this exercise. Don't worry, we're not going to go to triplets. My leg would get a cramp. But we could pedal offbeat eighth notes, which is kind of fun. Sound too bad, right? Actually pedaling the offbeat eighth notes, it sounds okay. So those are different rhythmic subdivisions that you could practice pedaling, and that's really lovely. Now, if you watched Glenn Zaleski's video where he was talking about his performance of Black Orpheus, one of the things he talked about was pedaling with the melody, and that's a really good exercise. I don't usually do that. I usually pedal with the bass, but sometimes it's really fun and really interesting to experiment with pedaling with the melody. So I'm going to practice just the melody and the pedal first, and then I'll add everything else in underneath. Because again, haven't done this in a while. Good, I'm listening for clarity. I don't really want to hear the overlap in a melody. You could ask, why would you pedal with a melody? That seems ridiculous. But remember, pedal not only is used to connect things on the piano that we can't connect physically with our fingers, but it's also used to change the sound. right? This chord sounds very different if it's played dry and if it's played with the pedal. It has a different kind of warmth and it sings out a little bit more. So the pedal is one way that we can voice a melody, that we can bring it out. I don't recommend doing this all the time, especially not if you're playing like Donnelly, you know, not very practical. But let's try this. I'm gonna also pedal in a change of harmony just to you know, make it less torturous. I even pedaled with that little counter melody that I made up in the middle of the piano. So again, you probably had to make some compromises there, but it's kind of cool to practice pedaling right along with the melody. I'll throw out a couple ideas. I'm not really able to show them to you now, but if you're a classical pianist wanting a pedal exercise, one of the things you could do is you could play Bach and practice pedaling right with each of the different voices in a fugue, for instance. Only pedal with the soprano, only pedal with the alto, the tenor, the bass. That's a really good way to train your foot, as well as to practice focusing on one voice at a time. I want to talk briefly before I leave you, if you're not already left, about the different levels of pedaling. So one of the things that I like to do with my students is to investigate the pedal of your piano. So how far does it go if you push it down absolutely all the way? And then what if you did one all the way and one about half of the way? That felt like about half. And let's hear what that sounds like. All the way, half of the way. I don't know if I got half. It's hard to play exactly at the same volume so that you can hear that. And then can we divide it into 3 parts? So 1, 2, 3. 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, 0, 1, 2. I went too far. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Each have a slightly different sound. Of course, then you could try 4. I'm going to try 4 and then I'm going to leave it. And, you know, you could go to 5 or 6 depending on how your pedal feels. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2. Try your best to make them even. Mine were not very even. 1, 2, 3, 4. I went too far that time. This has to be the most boring content on YouTube ever. It's going to get flagged for boredom. The more variations that you have in the way that you use the pedal, the more opportunities you have to color the piano. Of course, Chopin famously said that the pedal is the soul of the piano. And it's hard to disagree. And one of the things that I always watch for when I'm at a live concert is how some of the great pianists pedal. Okay, I think that's it for today. Buy books. You love books, right? Jazz Piano Fundamentals. Whee! Dance. Playing solo jazz piano. Do the Macarena. Do the can-can. I'll see you guys soon.